Hey everybody, my name is Mark Wessels and I am the author of a Fresh Approach series of books. Fresh Approach to snare drum, mallet percussion, beginning percussion, drum set and all of that stuff. And I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to take you through the audition piece for the ATSSB snare drum part for the Sarone etude number 42. This is the letter E segment of this. And we're going to do something a little bit different. This is not going to be just a playthrough. I'm going to take you measure by measure, even beat by beat, so that you can completely understand and by the end of this video be able to play the entire etude. Now, I'm going to do this on a intermediate, say beginning level. If you are a student who maybe has not been in the high school band and has not tried out for all region or made all region or made state before, you just need to understand it in order to play the piece for tryouts or play the piece for grades. This is a great video because I'm going to explain it all to you at a very slow pace. Now, if you're a higher level player and you're looking to get into the nuances so that you can make the top chairs at all region, make area, make state, then try the next video where I really break down some of the things that are more nuanced in this etude. All right, so we're only doing the cut that is part of the ATSSB tryout material. So if we look at that first measure, now what I'm going to do is show you a measure at a time. We're not going to go all the way through it because I do believe in copyright laws. Being a publisher myself, we're not going to show you the music. So you really should have the music in front of you, a piece of paper, a pen, and your sticks and a practice pad because you're going to be playing this along with me. And then the pen so you can notate in the stickings as I go through each measure, because I'm going to give you a lot of options so you can notate the sticking that you prefer so that you're doing the same sticking all the way through. All right, if you're just getting started with this and you haven't had a lot of experience in reading these 32nd notes and 64th notes and dotted rhythms and roughs and drags and all of that kind of stuff, don't worry, it looks a lot harder than it really is. The tempo of the etude is 48 beats a minute, which is really slow. So what I always think of is doubling that tempo and thinking of the subdivision of each beat as its own beat. All right, let's look at the first measure. So if you look at it, I'm starting off with 4 30-second notes. Now, in quarter time, that would be, all right, but we are thinking in 8 times. So I'm thinking if my tempo is here, 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2, or 1 ta 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 2. So if you can just play that with me. Now this is where I want you to have your sticks in your hands, because if you play everything with me, by the time you get to the end of the etude or the end of this video, you will have played everything and you will understand everything so you can practice on your own. So if that's my tempo, 3 4, 3 4, 3 4, pretty simple. Now I get to the end of the first beat and I have a slash through a 16th note. The slash doubles it, so I'm thinking 30-second notes. But what I'm doing with those 30-second notes, because it is a concert piece from a concert snare drum, is that I'm going to buzz those 2 30-second notes. So it's like playing a 5-stroke roll, 5-stroke buzz roll. Some teachers might have you play that as open, but since this is a concert snare drum piece from a concert etude, set of etudes, I like having it buzz. So the first 2 beats are really the same thing twice. So if I'm thinking my tempo here, 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and a 4 and a 1. So again, I'm dividing it into almost like 2 measures, 4 8 and 4 8. 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and a 4 and a 1. So let's play just the first 2 beats. 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. Now, I really want you to be playing with me, all right? If you're just watching this, eating some popcorn, you're not going to be able to do this by the end of the etude, all right? It's great to understand it, but just getting the sticks in your hand with a practice pad, sitting on a practice pad in front of your TV or in front of your computer, play along with me. All right, we get to the second half of the measure. If I think of those 30-second notes, if I really think of just eliminating that top beam across all of this, I'm thinking 1 EN on the first 2 30-seconds and a 16th. And then I have my slash, which is my 5-stroke roll, and then 2 30-second notes. So 1 EN, 2, and a 1, or 1 EN, 2, and a 3, if I'm thinking of this in 4/8 time. So the second half of that beat, beady dot dot dot, is just 30-second notes all the way through, but buzz in the first 2. All right, and the last beat of that first measure is the same thing 2 more times. Beady dot dot dee dot dot dot. Buzz, buzz, tap, tap, buzz, buzz, tap, tap, tap. So if I really slowed it down, and. So that whole measure, if I just think of it in 4/8 time with a fake bar line in the middle, 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and a 4 and a 1 E and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. All right, you can play it without the buzzes, just like this. Want to try it with me? I'll go slower. Ready and go and. So once I get to that second half of the measure, it's pretty much just 30-second notes all the way through, all right? Just constant notes, but then I throw in the buzzes. So let's do that measure slowly with buzzes. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. 2, again and go and. All right, you want to make sure that your buzzes are nice and full. I want to press into the drum, get that really good buzz sound, especially on my left hand. Now let's try it a little bit faster. This is actually up to tempo. And up to tempo is not really fast in this etude. Okay, you're not supposed to be playing it super fast or as fast as you can go. Here's the tempo. Digga digga dot, beady da 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 dot, be digga dot, de yakka de yakka de yakka dot. See if you can sing it. Okay, it's always fun to sing it because if you get it in your head, then you can play it. 1, 2, ready and go. 2, again, go. All right, so you see how this video is going to go, right? I'm going to take you in a measure and I'm going to explain the measure. I'm going to break it down. We're going to play the pieces of that measure a bunch of times and then we're going to put it all together at the end of that segment and hopefully you'll be able to play that along with me. Now, before we keep going, I want to tell you that the best thing you can do is anytime that you mess up or if you didn't quite get something, hit that stop button. Go back 10 seconds, go back a little bit further, and just do it again and again until you nail that measure. And then we'll go on to our second measure of the piece. This is pretty simple. It's just a half note roll and another half note roll. Okay, if I think in 4/8 time, I'm thinking of 4/8 notes per half note. So I'm counting 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. So 2 measures of 4/8 time with those 30-second notes, 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1. So if I just played it without the dynamics, without the buzzes, it would sound like this. Adding those little accents in it. So play that with me. 96 beats a minute is not incredibly fast, so I don't think we have to slow it down or anything. 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1. Play it with me. Ready and go. All right, now let's see if we can do the same thing but add the dynamics in. So the dynamics tell you sforzando, we're going to put some sforz on the zando, so we're going to add a little bit of emphasis to the accent, even more than a regular accent. We're going to diminuendo down to piano for 4 counts, so we want to make sure that that is even. Piano, we still have an accent at the beginning of the piano, so we have to play a little bit louder. Doesn't go all the way up, but then we crescendo up for 4 counts. So without the buzzes, sounds like this. All right, I want you to play that with me. Now, a couple of things that I want you to think about while you're doing that is hitting that accent really strong. See if you can make sure that your strokes are even all the way down and back up. But make sure that your diminuendo and your crescendo is even. All right, so you're not going really loud and then very soft and then wet. You want to think of it as turning on a volume knob, turning it all the way down, turning it all the way back up, trying to make it smooth and even. Now, I also like to have you go towards the edge of the snare drum and then come back towards the center. This is the only dynamics in the whole piece. It's the only time that we can showcase the fact that we can play soft. So go towards the edge, back towards the center. Now don't go all the way to the edge. I always like to use the little Remo icon right here or whatever practice pad or drum you're playing on as the end of how far I'm going to go. If you get too close to the edge, it starts sounding really thin. So play that with me. No buzzes yet. 1 and 2 and ready and go. Oops, forgot the accent. Add the accents in there when you get to piano. 1, 2, ready and go and. 2 again and go and. Now we're going to add the buzzes back in there. All right. So you have to keep thinking of that check pattern even though you're playing a buzz roll. A buzz roll is not just playing buzzes as fast as you can. Play it with that check pattern and it'll make a nice even sound. 1, 2, ready and go and. This time with the accent. 2, ready, and go. Two, again, go. All right, so it's not really a fast tempo, and it's not quite fast enough to make my rolls sound really good. I'll make them sound as good as I can, but this is a great starting place for you to play. Even 30-second note bounces all the way through. All right, now we're going to take that whole first line. So when you get to that second line, remember, put some swarts on your accents and then get down as low as you can get and still maintain a really good sound on your buzz, little accent, and crescendo back up. See if you can hold the tempo. 1 and 2 and ready and go. All right, how was that? All right, don't rush your roll. I rushed my roll just a little bit. One more time. 1 and 2 and ready and go. at this point, how did you do on playing along with me in the first line? All right, if you were terrible and you messed up, hit the stop button. Practice it on your own. You probably understand it at this point. You should have a metronome. You can put that metronome on 96. Practice that a bunch of times until you feel very comfortable with it. All right? It's not great just to keep going and keep going, because you're eventually going to have to put the whole thing together. So really see if you can nail that first line before you go on. All right, let's look at the second line. The second line is a lot more complex. It's got a lot more stuff in it. So now we're going to get to really the meat of some of the technique that you're going to have to play if you want to either make region or at least pass some playing tests that you have to do for your band director. All right, let's look at the first beat. The first beat, dotted 16th, 32nd. So if you eliminate that top bar or that top beam, it's just like dotted 8th, 16th note. 1, a 2, a 3. Now we want to get the right subdivision in here, so we want to think about all of those inner beats in between that. The subdivision of the 32nds. All right, you don't have to do that, but think of that, boom, ka-dong, ka-dong, or one, today, today. I always like to say today, 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 because the ta is a pickup today. Day, today, today. Play that with me. 1, 2, ready, and go, and. So it's definitely not going to be slurred. You're not going to open that up day to day to day. You're not going to play it as triplets. We'll have that later. All right, make sure that you understand the rhythm integrity, or the rhythm has to be perfect all the way through. Now, beat 2. This is the harder part of the first measure. We have to play that same rhythm with a flam on it. Now, this completely depends on what sticking you want to have. So this is where you take your pen and you decide on the couple of sticking variations I'm going to give you. You decide what works best for you, and you write it in. Now, what I just played works best for me: right, left, right, left, right. All right, that works really good for me because I can control the flam, and then I put a little bit of whip on the grace note to make sure my downbeats are heard. So you can try that sticking a couple of times. This is a great place to hit pause on the video. Right, left, right, with the flam in there. But you see what the right hand is having to do, right? You're going to have to be able to flick that wrist and play great sounding flams. All right? Another sticking option is to do the flam but play a double right. To do the flam on the right hand and go right, 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 right. So you might just try that for a second. And then you could put it in the context of the beat, beat number 2. So I'm thinking 3, a 4, a 1. So for some players, that might be a lot easier because I'm just playing a double right hand and I can really make my flam sound good. Now, if you do this sticking, and this sticking works for you, I would like you to put a little bit of emphasis on the second note of your double. I'm going to really emphasize it once so you can tell what I'm talking about. So I'm doing that, but putting my flam in. You don't have to do it a lot, but trying to see whether that sticking works. All right? So decide on those 2 stickings. You could play anything. You can play right, left. if you want to, if your right hand flams sound really good. I suppose you can play a double F. Definitely not something I would do, but pause the video, practice that a few times, trying those different stickings, and then take your pen and write in the sticking that you prefer. Now I'm going to go back to my pref, which is right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. So the first half of that measure, I'm keeping that consistent right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, but I'm adding the flam in. So let's take it really slow together, whichever sticking that you want to do. Let's do that first two beats together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So I'm in my head at this slow tempo. I'm thinking of that subdivision. So I can get my dotted, I always call it dotted 8/16, but it's really dotted 16th 32nd. I can get that in time. Okay, a couple more times. I'm going to do it with the double right sticking on the flam tap. 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. A little bit faster. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. All right, so whatever you decide to do with your sticking, write it in, do it every single time. Now we're going really slow here, but that's the point. You don't have to work this up all in a day. If you work a couple of measures in a week, you'll have the whole piece. It's only, I don't know, 16 bars or something like that. You don't have to go through the whole thing as fast as you can and get the whole thing down. So really take it a beat at a time and work it out. All right. Now try that with a metronome at 96. 1, 2, 3, flat tap, flat tap. 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. All right, so we are playing forte. All right, you don't have to overplay forte. This isn't a rudimental piece where forte needs to be like you would play out on a marching field. This is just a good, solid forte. All right, and snare drum itself, if you play a normal range to a band director, that's going to sound really loud. So you don't want to kill yourself by playing too loud. All right, so take some time and work out those first two beats, because truthfully, that's one of only 2 things in this entire piece that's somewhat hard. So you really got to get it perfect. All right, let's look at beat number 3. Beat number 3 has a triplet. And if we're thinking, here's our tempo, 1, 2, 3, 4, a triplet 2, triplet 2, triplet 2. So it's not a fast triplet. If I'm thinking in 4/8 time, I'm thinking triplet 2. And then I have a 3, a 4, a 1. All right, so that's a whole beat. But let's just play beat number 3. All right, beat number 3, triplet 2, a 3. 1, 2, ready, go. So you notice a couple of things. There's a couple of sticking options that you can have. All right, you can play right, left, right, left, left, right, or you can play right, left, left, right, left, right. I kind of like the right, left, left, right, left, right, because that keeps my right hand on every downbeat very consistently. All right, remember, today, triplet 2, today. Got to keep that spacing correct on your dotted 16th 32nd. So don't let yourself play a triplet. Okay, don't want to open that up. We want to keep that snap to it. All right, let's play the first 2 beats, or the first 3 beats of that measure. Slowly, 1, a 2, a 3, flat tap, flat triple, 2, a 3. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. A 1, 2, last time, go. All right, so probably, unless you're a pretty good player, you probably really don't have your flams down yet, and that's an important thing to really work on, but at least you understand how that goes. The last beat of that measure is the same as beat number 2. So whatever sticking you prefer, take your pen right now, write it in, and rehearse it that way all the time. If you rehearse it that way all the time, then you're training your muscles to do the same thing every time, and you won't really have to think about it too much. So, the whole measure, air drumming it, do it with me, ready, go. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a triple, 2, a 3, a 4, a 1. So, without the flams, it's really simple. Okay, so you have this dotted 8/16, or dotted 16/32 all the way through the measure, and then you have that 1 triple 2. Ba, 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 ba. Feels like it slows down, all right? Do that with me without the flams first. 1, a 2, a ready, and go, and. All right, so you got to make sure your triple 2, when you get to it, is even. So not triple 2. All right, or some other weird variation. Now, see if you can play that with flams. Whether you're playing, however you're playing with your sticking, do it this time. 1, a 2, a ready, and go, and. 2, again, and go, and. Two, last time, go, and. All right, so the difficulty of this, as you speed up especially, is making sure that every one of those flams sound good, okay? You don't want any pops. Can't even make that happen, but you want a good flam sound. And you got to be careful not to let them get wide and sloppy. All right, we want to keep those nice and flam sound. All right, up the tempo, not too much faster than that, but we can try it with the metronome. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a triple 2, a 3, a 4, a 1, a 4, a 1. Okay, kind of emphasizing that a little bit. It's a little silly, but try it with me. 1, a 2, a ready, and go, and. All right, so I'm trying to keep that, probably slowing down a little bit, but I'm trying to keep that bong, ga-da, ga-da, really rhythmically accurate. Okay, so you can play that a bunch of times. And you could take that flam tap, flam tap, flam tap, whichever sticking that you prefer, and just make that an exercise. And just do that whenever you're not doing anything else. Bla-tap, 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 bla-tap. Or however you prefer. Do that as an exercise, and then when you get to it in the measure, it'll just flow out of your hands and you won't really have to think about it. All right, let's look at the fourth measure, or the second measure of this line. Now I have my dotted 16/32, but I have a lot of ties. I want to start this measure learning it without the ties first. So my first 2 beats. First 2 beats, 1, a 2, a 3, a triple 1. 1, a 2, a 3, a triplet 1. Play that with me. Whatever sticking you prefer on your first triplet in the first measure of that line, do the same thing here, just so it's consistent. 1, a 2, a ready, and go, and. All right, make sure that the 30-second pickup into the triplet almost sounds like a wide open flam. A triplet 1, a triplet 1, not. Right? Don't turn that into a triplet. Right? 1, today, and a 2. Yeah. 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba-ba. If you have that sound in your head, then you'll play it right every time. Then the rest of the measure without the ties, I'm sorry, starts with an eighth note, which would be like a quarter note in my head. If I'm keeping my right hand consistent all the way through, my right hand plays every downbeat all the way through the measure. My left hand fills in those either 30-second notes or the other 2 notes of the triplet. So my tempo is right here. If you have a metronome and you're playing with a metronome, back, 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 your left hand controls all the other notes. One more time, let's play that whole measure without the ties. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, steady on your right. All right, so practice that a bunch of times. You can speed it up. It's not really that hard. Now, let's go back and put the ties in. So I'm going to do something a little unorthodox. All right, what I want to do is I want to first put the right hand that is the tie on the rim. All right, I promise you this is going to help you. So do that with me. Just ignore everybody and just do it with me. I promise it's going to help. So 1, a 2, a 3, a triplet 1, 2, a 3, a 4. So you just reach out and play that tied note on the rim. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. Now I got a nice wood rim here, so I want to make sure that I'm not damaging my rim. So I'm going to put it over here on the music stand. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, last time, go. All right, so if you can do that, the next thing I want you to do is play it in the air. So pretend that you're hitting something. Now what I also like to do is play my foot, or I'm tapping my foot all the way through. I'm actually thinking of playing my foot with that right hand that I'm taking out. 1, a 2, 1, a foot. All right, so let's just take the first 2 beats and just play your foot, play your right hand in the air with your foot. So I'm thinking 1, a 2, a 3. 1, a 2, a 3, but I'm just taking that note out. 2, ready, go. And. Now this is really important that you keep the rhythmic integrity perfect, even though we have that boom, ga, ga. So you can think of that subdivision or that syncopation of it, but I like to always have that rhythmic integrity perfect first. Now, let's add beat 2. Doom, ga-da, ga-doom, ga-da, ga-goom. 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. All right, so that will help you, and then you have to finish off the measure. That will help you, all right? What I would encourage you to do is play it on the rim for a few days. Just get used to that right hand, but you always have that rhythm in your head. Then play it in the air. Eventually you can take that out. All right, but I kind of like having that in there just to keep me perfectly in time. All right, now we're going to play that whole line. We'll do it slow. If you don't have your flams down yet, you can play it without flams for a little bit, but really practice your flams and then get those in there as soon as you can. All right, very slowly. 1, a 2, a 3, and 4, and. All right, how'd you do? Were you able to hang with me? Even if you don't play your flams yet, getting those rhythms is very, very important. And if you have to, play the tied notes on the rim. 1, 2, ready, and go. And. All right, that sounds a little funky. I'm not really emphasizing the syncopation in the second measure. Some instructors might have you do ga, do ga, goo, goo, ga, goo. We'll have you kind of emphasize that syncopation. Kind of up to you, but I like playing it straight across since there's no notation there. A little bit faster. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, so that's pretty much the tempo. I didn't play it with a metronome. I can't really hear the metronome. It should be using an earpiece, but you get the idea. So again, practice that line with a metronome a bunch of times, all right? If you need to slow it down, but really it's about getting that flam tap, flam tap. So that's the thing that you probably need some practice with, unless you've got some pretty good chops. All right, we are not going to put the whole thing together because I don't want to show you all the music and have you not go buy the book, which is what you're supposed to do, right? You better have a real original copy of the book somewhere. But let's go on to line number 3. All right, in the first measure, you see it's mostly triplets with ties. All right, so pretty simple to count it. Triplet, 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 trip. Today, a triplet 1. So I have those couple of dotted 16th, 32nds in there. I almost said dotted 8/16. Bop, ba-dop, ba-dop. So I want to make sure that that is not falling in a triplet, but then I'm just going to play the whole thing with triplets, okay? Try that with me. Without the ties, triplets, but then when you get to day, today, today, make sure we've got that bong, gadong, gadom rhythmic integrity. 1, 2, set and a go. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. You should always hear that ba-da-ba-ba-ba instead of ba-ka-ka-ka-ka. All right? Now, let's go back through and add the ties in here. Now, there's a lot of ties, and so I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to do my air drumming thing to take out the notes, but then eventually you won't have to do that. All right, look at the very first beat. So I have the first 2 notes of the triplet, so I'm thinking triple-let, triple-let. All right, what I'm doing here is going right, left. I'm taking out the right hand, left, right, left, right. So I'm taking out 2 right hands. Triple-let, triple-let 1. So just for fun, you can put it on your rim, all right? or not for fun. Do it because this is a great way to work it up. 1, 2, right and a go. And. Now you could also tap your foot. And. All right, so triple, let 1. Now another good way of practicing this is to play a beat of check, triple let, and then play that beat. See what I'm doing? I'm just adding a beat of just triplets. That gets my hands in the correct motion. Then I can finish off the measure. All right, my second beat, again, we started with that right hand being out. That's the tied note. So I have triple let and then triple let. So that second tie of that second beat is going to be the left hand I'm taking out. Triple let, and then I come back to the drum. So it's pretty simple, right? Triple let, 1. Triple let, 1. It's almost like a drum to drum thing. Or if you play toms, very simple. So just play beat 2. And. Play it with me. 1, 2, ready, go. And. Okay, simple enough. Now when I put that with the first beat, 2, 3, 4. So right hand goes out twice. 2, ready, go. Now really that first right hand, you don't really have to play. If you think of the rhythm of just leaving out that third note, you can just do that without having to fake that right hand. And. All right, so play just the first 2 beats again. This time I'm just not faking that first right hand. Deca, deca, deca. 2, 3, 4. You just have to remember right, left, left, right, left, right. Right, left, right, left, right, left. Right, left, left, right, left, right. 2, ready, go. All right, take your pencil right now, or pen, or whatever you're marking with. Right, left, left, right, left. You can put the right hand above those tied notes. Left, right, left, right, if you want to. All right, I'm really digging in pretty deep on this one because this is another measure that if you don't play it correctly with the right rhythmic interpretation, then you're going to get scored bad. All right, you're not going to make a great score. So. Or grade, or whatever, right? So let's do it a couple more times. I'm still playing right, left, left, right, left. I'm still playing my right, left, right, left, right, left, right on my rim or on another fake drum. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Now, once you have that, air drum that right, left, right, left, right, left, and you'll have the correct rhythms. All right? All right, you can also tap your foot during those air drum times. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. All right, very important that you hear and feel those downbeats. Going on, then we have the rest of the measure, which is pretty simple. Now I'm just going to take out that tied note. I can play that in on the stand next to me or on the rim. Now the sticking I'm using is right, left, left, right, left, right, okay? I'm doing that right, left, right on those dotted 16th, 32nds to keep those consistent with what I did in the previous line. Whatever sticking you choose to use, pick up your pencil, pause the video, and write it in. All right, we're still on beat 3 and 4 of that measure. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. All right, now air drum it, but tap your foot with that. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Now your air drum doesn't have to be all the way up in the air. You can just kind of fake it a little bit. All right. Nobody's going to know because generally the audition is behind a screen. They're not watching you play. All right. So you can do any of these weird air drum things. People are going to go, "What are you doing? That's nuts." Helps though. Now we can play the whole line. Let's do it really slow. I'm going to do some air drumming on all of those tied notes. And I'm also tapping my foot. 1, 2, ready, and go. But up when I get to the end. Again, 2, ready, and go. So I'm also saying, in case you want to. You can if you want to. All right, at least think it in your head where those downbeats are. All right, a little bit faster. I'm going to make my air drumming a lot smaller this time. 1, 2, ready, go. I opened that up a little bit too much. Did you hear that? Okay, use your critical listening skills and you'll be able to do that. All right, so you can eventually take out that. You can eventually take out all of those faked notes. I'd say leave them in. Who cares? All right, as long as you're not hitting anything and as long as you're not making a lot of noise with tapping your foot, that's perfectly fine. All right, let's move on to our last measure of this line. Again, we're almost halfway through with the etude by the time we get to here. And this is the most of the hard part. There's one more measure that's hard and then it gets really simple. But let's look at the first beat of this second measure of this line. So now I have trip, rest, let, trip, let, trip. Now you can stick it right, left, right, but I've been making a huge deal about that dum today with that sticking. So I'm going to choose, and remember I finished off on my left hand, I'm going to go left, left, right, left. And. Now we can think of our triplets. Triple, let, 1, and. All right, so wherever you wound up at the beginning of that measure, if you wrote your sticking in, I'm winding up on my left hand. I have to go left, left, right, left, and then I play just 2 sets of triplets. So try that with me. 1, 2, ready, go. Hear that really dum, cha dum, has that triplet feel to it, right? Completely different than. We're going to come back to that in just a second, but triple, let, 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. So nice and relaxed. Then in the second half of the measure, don't worry about that last beat yet. We just have the dotted 16th, 32nd. All right, so we're going from our boogadoo, 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 bum, today. I have to make sure that there's a difference between my triplets and my dotted 16th, 32nds. So add that beat 3 to the measure. 1, 2, ready, go. Hear the difference? 1, 2, ready, go. So there should be a huge difference between your triplets on beat 1 and your dotted 16th 32nd. Hear the difference. All right, so you really have to make sure there's a difference. All right, now let's look at that beat 4. Beat 3 and 4, if I'm thinking in 4/8 time. So it looks really hard. We got 30 seconds, dotted 30 seconds, and 64th notes. All we have to really think of is that consistency of my 32nd notes. So for a second, I just want you to think of playing 1, 2, 3, 4 right hands. Do that with me. Now I'm going to back up a beat. All I'm doing is leaving out the 64th note. Okay? So here's what my right hand will play. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. That's all my right hand plays in the second half of that measure. Do that with me. Ready, go. Now if I add in my 30 seconds in the first 2 beats, do that with me. Day, today, today, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. Now, let's deal with that 64th note. Now we're going to do something a little weird, okay, but I promise you there's a reason for it. I want you to think of, in that last beat, of playing 1 right hand and then 3 or 4 right hand flams. See how the grace note, ba-da, 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 ba-da. All right, so try that with me. Just think of flams when you get to that beat. And 1, 2, set and go. And. Nice, good flams, all right? Now back up a beat. 1, today, today, flam, 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 flam. 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. So, today, today, really big left hands, flam, 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 flam. 2, last time, go. Now, when we get to the flams, I want you to play your grace note all the way up, almost the same volume as your right hand. So this would be considered a great sounding flam on drum set, but a really bad sounding flam on a snare drum. On a concert snare drum, at least. Do that with me. Still think of flam, 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 but now raise that left hand grace note up. 1, 2, ready, and go, and. 2, again, go. 2, last time, go. All right. Now all we have to do is open those flams up, make them a little sloppy, and then you have the rhythm that is written. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. All right, so thinking of those as flams makes it easy to play. First of all, you don't really have to worry about it. Second of all, it makes that very rhythmically accurate. It's almost like a Scottish rhythm. Double time, dotted 32nd, 64th note. All right, now the whole measure put together, bum, ba, bum, ba, ba, goody, bookity. When we have a triplet, we have to think of it in a different way. So we go from just kind of a to very strict, all right? So let's try that whole last measure. I'm starting on my left hand because I have left, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, bum, ba-dum, ba-da, 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 ba-doo. 1, 2, set and go. All right, day, today, 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 today. If you can think of it like that. 1, 2, last time, go. All right, so again, this is a great time to stop your metronome, or stop the video and practice out a few times so that you can totally nail that. If you can't nail that measure, then putting those two measures together is going to be hard, really hard. But let's see if we can put the whole line together. So remember, bookity, 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 bookity. I'm doing those triplets, okay, all the way through, except for my dotted 8/16 notes. Now I'm going to kind of fake my tied notes just to keep it really, really even. You can do that. You can play it on the rim still, whatever makes your boat float. All right, let's try it really slow. 1 and 2 and ready, go. All right, not too hard, especially if you're going slow. I'm tapping my foot. I'm faking those notes in the air just to keep my triplet rhythms really even. All right, do it again. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Doom, ga-dum, ga-dum. All right, a little faster. 1, 2, set and go. All right, if you're very critical listening, you could hear the mistake I made. Did you hear the mistake I made? I got to that first triplet of the second measure and I tightened it a little too much. But hey, I'm being very critical of myself. You should be critical of yourself too. And let's go on to the next line. Now, this first measure looks hard, but it's not. All right. So if I'm thinking, remember, I'm going to take out the 64th note for a second. So I'm thinking of 2 right hands and an 8th note roll. Now the 8th note roll gets 4 32nd notes. So that's really a 9-stroke roll. So if I take out that 64th note for a second, that's all I'm thinking is right, 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 left, right, left, right. Play that with me. So I'm doing the base of the roll or the shell of the roll without the buzzes. Do it again. 1, 2, with me, go. 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 Now all I have to do is buzz those 4 32nd notes. Go. Go. Now I could put the 64th note in. I could play them like flams. I have a flam rolled in. Okay, that kind of is overkill, but I can think of opening up those flams the way I learned it in the previous line. Now when I go back and I put in the 64th note, if I'll think of that as kind of an open flam, then we have our first beat. If I played my left hand over here for those 64th note, you would hear this. It's all about that tempo of the right hand. All right, so I encourage you to practice just that beat a bunch. Because if you skip over beat 2, well, let's play beat 2. Beat 2 is just that 4 right hands and a stop. Okay? So bop bop beady dee dee dop bop 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 bop. Guess what? The right hand stays constant all the way through. My left hand is filling in the 64th note and the buzzes. All right, so let's practice it without the buzzes and let's go slow. Bop ba da ba da bop beep ba da ba da bop 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 bop. 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. All right, a little faster. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. All right, so if you can get it at that slow tempo, now let's add in the buzzes where they belong. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, the buzzes are really slow. BD, BD. All right, let's try. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. 2, last time, go. All right, now if you're not quite grasping that, very good time to hit the pause button and just practice that a bunch of times. Because if you can't do it on beat 1, then beat 3 and 4 of that measure are going to be hard because it is exactly the same thing but flipped. So beat 3, where the roll starts, is my 4 30 seconds bounce. Be-dee-dee-dee-up-ba-da, ba-dee-dee-dee-dee-up, ba-da, ba-da. Be-dee-dee-dee-dee-up, ba-da, ba-dee-dee-dee-dee-up, ba-da, ba-da. So let's play it without the buzzes. We're only on beat 3 and 4. 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. Now put the buzzes in. It's going to be really slow. It's going to sound like but that's okay because we'll speed it up. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. Now make sure that that 64th note before the buzz, the second buzz, is not crushed. We want to make sure, ba-da, all right, ba-da. We have those, a really good single stroke before that buzz begins. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. All right, that's something to isolate and to practice a bunch of times at a slow tempo until you really nail that, because that being able to play it fast, if you don't nail it slow, then you're probably going to start making it really sloppy. So let's try that whole measure. I'll go slow a couple of times and then we'll speed it up for those of you who are probably getting bored already, but let's go slow and make it perfect. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. All right, now it's okay to play your buzzes that slow. We don't have to like cram in extra notes, because as we speed up, it's going to smooth out a little bit. Let's go a little bit faster. Can you sing it? Don't make fun of me singing the part, because if you can sing it, you understand it, and then you can play it. That's how it works. 1, 2, ready, go. Now, that is devoid of any kind of phrasing or any kind of feel, but it's right. So let's do it a little faster. 2, ready, and go. See how close I am. Yeah, that's the tempo. Last time, ready, and go. All right, if I have that really solid rhythmic interpretation of those dotted 32nd, 64th notes, then I kind of have to, like make sure that my roll is in time, that I'm not rushing my roll. All right, now the last measure here, the second measure of this line, is the hard measure. This is the measure that you're going to have to spend a bunch of time on if you want to actually make all region. All right, if I was picking measures that I need everybody to play, the one thing that I would make sure I get is this measure, because if you can't play this measure, you ain't going to scratch, right? All right, but if we break it down, it's not that hard. Now I'm going to do it on a beginner intermediate level, not a beginner level because it's not beginner stuff, but on an intermediate level. There's ways to interpret this that I'll do in the advanced video that I'm not going to do here. But make sure that you have your pencil handy. So remember that we're thinking in 8 time. So in my first 4 16th notes, if my tempo is here, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3. Now if I think of the right hands as being even, that's the rhythm that my right hand will play, but then I add the rough. It's actually a drag. Right? Yeah, the drag. It's called the drag when we just bounce the 2 notes. So I'm thinking 1E and, but I'm bouncing that left hand. And. Now I want you to do that with me, okay? Don't start going, hey, it's not supposed to be double and this and this. Don't worry, I'll get back to the interpretation of it in just a second. For right now, I just want you to bounce that left hand. 1E and 2 and 3. 1E and 2 and 3 with bouncing the left hand. 1, 2, ready, and go, and. So I'm just playing this, but I'm bouncing that left hand. Dig it up, dap, dap, dap. Dot, 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 dot. And 1, 2, set, and go. And. Now I can add my slashed, remember from the very first line, winds up being a 5-stroke roll. Ba-da-da. Da-ra-da-da-ba. Da-ra-ba-ba-da-da. Okay, so let's add that 5-stroke roll. Now I haven't put the accent in. If you're a purist, I will add the accent in just a minute, but let's get that bass rhythm first. And 1, 2, set, and go. 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 So the right hand has the tempo. Ba, 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 ba. If you can get that drag in there and then get the nice buzz sound at the end, now we're ready to add in a little bit of accent to the drag. So I'm accenting, but I'm having to come back to that softer level, okay, for the other parts. So that's what my right hand is doing. That's what it's actually doing. Okay, so I'm accenting that second note. Add that in there. 1, 2, ready, and go. And. Now add the buzz roll in there. Ready, and go. And. 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 All right, now, interpretation. In a concert snare drum piece, we generally play buzz drags. So you can buzz that drag. Some instructors like it to be open. Open is really more of a rudimental style. Okay, but playing it as a buzz is really nice, since it is a concert piece. Now let's deal with what is called a 4-stroke rough. All right, a rough is played with articulated strokes. A drag can be bounced or buzzed, but a rough is articulated strokes. So I have a couple of choices here, and this is where you need to decide what sticking you want to use on the 4-stroke roughs. Now, my personal preference is to play this all single strokes. I start with my left hand, I end with my right. biggy-da-ba, biggy-da-ba, biggy-da-ba. I like that because I can make those really, really articulate. Now, the tricky part is in the tempo that it goes, you have to play those pretty fast. So you might practice that a couple times, going slow, and then gradually speeding up. If you can't do that, then maybe that's not the right sticking for you. If you can do that, write it in, say, this is my sticking. The other way that a lot of percussion instructors, and I polled a bunch of people on Facebook, is they like to use the sticking right, left, left, right. That keeps you from having to be able to play really fast singles, and it keeps you from having to play that really fast whip stroke on that sticking. So let's try this together. You can choose to do it or choose not to do it, but I just want to play my 4-stroke rough. Biggy-da-ba, 2, 3, 2, 3, using that right, left, left sticking. Try with me. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Now you have to have a good double stroke on your left hand. You can't just let it just kind of buzz in there. It has to be nice double on your left hand. Now, as you play this, make sure your right hand at the beginning of your 4-stroke rough, it's a grace note, so it needs to be down here, and then your accent stroke will be up here. All right, try it a few more times, and then we'll get faster. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. A little faster. Now this becomes a bounce, all right, but it still has to be a double bounce. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. All right. So between those two, this is a great time to stop the video and just go, and decide for yourself which one you'll be able to play 100% correct 100% of the time. Whichever one you prefer, just do it the same way every single time. Now let's add that into the first half of the measure. So 1 rough, 2, and a 3, biggy-da-ba. You just put that biggy-da-ba on the end of beat 3, all right? Technically, that works. Do da do dee da biggy-da-ba. All right? So I'm making the bare bones, here's how you play it, kind of way to play it. All right? So whichever sticking you prefer when you get to, whichever way you prefer, do it that way every single time. All right, let's try that very slowly. First half of the measure. Ready and go and. Ready and go and. Ready and go and. So I'm just going back and forth. You can do whichever sticking that you want. A little faster. 1, 2, and set and go. 1, 2, set and go. All right, now if you subdivide that second beat, da biggy-da-ba, it's almost like playing a triplet, all right? But if you're going to do that, that's fine. It gets the job done. It's not perfectly the right interpretation, but it gets the job done. Just make sure that you play that really low. Don't go. Okay, don't play a real loud triplet. Whichever one you do, play soft down here. Okay, do it again. A little faster. 1 and 2 and ready and go. 1, 2, set and go. All right, now I put in a little bit of interpretation in there, but you don't have to. 1 and 2 and a 3, biggy-da-ba. And biggy-da-ba. All right, that might take a little bit of time, But that's okay, because you got months, unless you're cramming all in the night before the tryout, got months to work on it. So take that and just do that a million times. Whichever sticking you like. All right, let's tackle the second half of the measure. If you notice already, it's the same thing, but I flipped the first half of the second half of the measure. So now I'm starting with my 5-stroke roll, and then I play my drag at the end of the 4/16 notes. Now again, the sticking that I'm preferring is to keep that right hand going. So my right hand is, all right, so accent tap, you could play the beat 3, this last part of the beat on your left hand, if you want to. But I'm just keeping my right hand constant. All right, so play it first like this, and then add that triplet 4-stroke rough in there. Bop, 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 bikita ba. Ready and go. Ready and go. Now add the 5-stroke roll at the beginning. Ready and go. Ready and go. Last time, go. All right, now let's add the rough back in. I'm going to slow down just a little bit. So we want to make sure that the rough has an accent on it. So try that with me, okay? I'm not going to play the last 4-stroke rough. Keep saying rough, it's a drag. That's a drag. It's not a drag, it's fun. It's a drag. 1, 2, ready and go. And. Now remember, I'm playing a buzz drag, not a double bounce drag, but you can do either, all right? Now go back and add the 4-stroke rough in. A drag is a drag and a rough is kind of rough to play. So drags are fun, not a drag. Anyway, let's play that last, getting crazy here. 1, 2, last 2 bars. 1, 2, set and go. 1, 2, last time, go. All right, hardest measure in the piece, guarantee. That's the hardest measure. So you need to slow it down, break it down, so you can throw it down. Friend always says that. Let's go really slow and play that whole measure with the roughs, the drags, and the accents. Remember, the basis of the right hand, bop, 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 ba, bop, 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 ba, is just right there, all right? And then you fill in the rolls and the drags and the roughs. 1, 2, ready and go. One, 2, ready and go. Now try to get those accents to really pop and to sound the same, whether you're playing a drag or a rough, right? Make sure that the accent sounds the same and you keep those grace notes really low. 1, 2, set and go. One, 2, ready and go. Now up the speed, pretty close actually, right? If you can work this up a little bit at a time, first the first half of the measure, then the second half of the measure, and then put it together at a slow tempo and then gradually speed it up, it's not that hard. You're teaching your muscles how to play the measure, then you don't really have to think about it, all right? So up the tempo, and 1 and 2 and ready and go. 1, 2, ready and go. All right, now that's the basic way to playing it. There's all kinds of interpretations that I'll talk about in the advanced level video, but for now, that works. So we can play the whole line now. All right, remember that first measure? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. All right, can you sing it? Hopefully you can sing it. Lock yourself in a closet if you don't want anybody seeing you sing it. But being able to sing it, especially along with a metronome, is a really good way of practice because it gets it in your head. Let's try it. We'll go slow once or a couple of times and then we'll speed it up. 1 and 2 and right and go and. How'd you do? Were you terrible? Good chance that you were, in which case you need to stop the video and just kind of work through it a few times and then play it along with me again. But if you weren't terrible, play it again with me. I don't mean to be demeaning. We're all terrible when we first start practicing something. It's just the name of the game. Then we get better and then we're awesome. 1, 2, ready and go and. Awesome? Probably not. Let's get awesome. 1, 2, ready and go. All right. I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but that is the line that you have to nail to really be able to play this etude, okay? If I was hosting all region tryouts and I wanted to go by really quick, I'd say, play line number 4. And then you're going to weed out almost every single person who is not really practiced, who really hasn't spent any time working on this. It's not crazy hard, but you do need to work on that. All right, let's move on to line number 5. Guess what? It gets easy from here to the end, right? This is just figuring out how to count things and where to place rolls and drags and 30-second notes. It looks really hard. It's really easy. Let's look at the first measure here. The first half of the measure, we've already had this. Now again, 4 16th notes in a row. I'm just going to play right, 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 right. Now I'm adding my drag in there. Zup. All right, zop, doop, zup, dup, 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 doop, zup, dup, dup, dup. So if you want to practice singing, zup is a good nomenclature for drag. All right, now when I get to my 30-second notes in beat 2, big-a-dig-a-dup, zup, zup. All right, so let's play just beat 2. Big-a-dig-a-dup, zup. Ready and go. And 4. Now I can add a little bit of accent in there. Big-a-dig-a-dup, zup. Right, 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 right. I'm keeping my right hand constant. My left hand fills in those other notes. 1, 2, ready and go. Ready and go. Ready and go. Okay? So my first half of the measure, right, 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 dig-a-dig-a-deep, dig. My right hand plays every single downbeat and upbeat. Bop, 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 bop. Now I can add in a little bit of accent. Do bop, 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 big-a-dig-a-doo, bop, bop. Then I've got it. 1, 2, ready and go. 2, ready, go. 2, ready, go. All right, so the hard thing is accent and then unaccented note. All of those notes in between the accent should be nice and even. All right, then I get to the last half of that first measure and it's really the same thing. Dut, 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 zup, digga, digga, dup, da, da, dup. I have my 5-stroke roll at the end of that line. Now, hopefully you know that that slash with the tie, 2 16 notes bounce is my 5-stroke buzz roll. So if I go slow, second half of the measure, 2, ready, and go, and 2, ready, and go, and. All right, so right hand straight through the measure. So let's try that whole measure very slowly. See if you can add that zop accent on each one of the drags. 1 and 2 and ready and go. See that right hand? That's my tempo. That's how I can maintain a steady tempo. It's that motion. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and. Pretty simple, a little faster. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and. All right, so if you're using any other sticking with that, there's a good chance that it won't be even and clean. So I really encourage you to use that sticking, but make sure that your left hand is equal volume with your right, because we don't want definitely don't want that heavy right hand. We want that left hand to be nice. All right, second half of this line, second measure, totally simple. So if we eliminate the top beam of the whole line, it's pretty simple, because now we're just playing almost just like 5-stroke rolls in 16th notes. All right, bum beady dum bigga digga digga dum beady dum bigga dum bigga digga digga dum beady dum. All right, so all of those are just upbeat and a 1 5-stroke rolls. Let's just try that measure. That should be fairly simple. 1, 2, set and go. Okay? I will caution you, make sure that your left hand is as loud as your right on the bounces. Don't want to sound like that. Sometimes I actually think of that left hand as being a little louder, because that gives it a little better sound to my bounces. All right, let's try that whole line. Not hard. Again, all the way through the whole line, if I put my left hand on my leg, my right hand is playing dup zup dup dup digga digga dup zup dup zup digga digga dup beady dup digga digga dup beady dup. Right hand is just doing this the whole time. All right. Try it slow. 1 and 2 and ready and go. That's a line I wouldn't have waste my time on, because if anybody can play that line, okay? But maybe not anybody. At least you have to be a percussionist to know how to play good drags and good rolls. A little faster. 1 and 2 and ready and go. All right, so a good clean sound all the way. Right, making sure that everything's right in time with the metronome that we're not really playing with, because my tempo is so good. Last line, woohoo! And guess what? This whole first measure is basically the same thing as what we were just doing. Bigga digga dup, beady digga digga dup, be yicka digga 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 dup, beady dup. Totally simple, but let's go very slowly. 1E and a 2 and a 1E and a 2 and a 1, 2 and set and go and. Hard? No, not easy. Not even hard. Faster. 1 and 2 and ready and go. Two, ready and go. All right, now let's look at that last beat, or last measure. The quarter note is like a half note, all right, because we're beating time to the 8th note at 96. quarter note. And then I have a 5-stroke roll, right? That's easy. Quarter note. Now that looks really hard, but all it is bigga gadot, bigga gadot. And I'm using the sticking right, left, left, right. Bigga gadot. So it's, what is that, 30-second notes with a slash. So it's just one bounce off of the right hand. Beat up, but up. Beat up, but up. Play it first without that bounce. Okay, I'm eliminating the beginning of the 5-stroke roll, but beat up, but up. Just right on that highlighted area. Ready and go. 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Same thing, but buzz that first right hand. 3 and 4. 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Okay, so not hard, looks hard, but not really. Now, adding in that 5-stroke roll, 1 E and beat up, but up, and. So that's without the bounces. Play that with me without the bounces. Big it up, but up, but up. Go. And. And then when you put the bounces in, that's the beat. And. So it's not a drag, it's its own thing, okay? So it's not, all right? So don't think of it as a drag. That has to happen on the downbeat. But it up, beat up, but up. 2, ready, and go. Then at the beginning of the measure, quarter note. That's how it works. All right, let's play the whole last line. Again, not hard. Bigga digga bop, be yigga digga bop, be yigga digga 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 dop, dee yup, dee da dup, but up, but up. That is my subdivision of the quarter note. I like doing that. 1, 2, set and go. All right, just make sure your buzz is really nice. Boom, we did it all the way through. Now, I didn't go back and put sections together and phrases together. That is up to you. If you understand how to do this and you can play with me on any given line of this etude, then go back and put 2 lines together. Because sometimes going from the end of one line to the beginning of the next is, you know, like a transitional difficulty, but it's not that hard. So I would encourage you to work with your metronome. I'd encourage you to go through this whole video again. All right, it seems like a lot of time, and maybe you didn't make it all the way through in one shot, but what's nice about it is you've got a lot of time. So just work on a couple of lines or a line or even a couple of beats and a measure until you teach your muscles how to do it correctly. Then you should be able to do it and really spend all your time on the keyboard part, because that's not easy. All right, so take your time, work through all of this. If you are at this level where, hey, all of that makes sense, I am really, really good at all that, I'm ready for the next level to be able to add some nuance and some phrasing and some things that are going to help propel you to make a higher chariot region or even all state, then join me in the second video where I really, really dig into the fun part of playing the snare drum at a high level. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Check out my other videos, subscribe to the channel, and I'll check you later.